she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, hit it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast. Ooh la la, she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, hit it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast. What you need, what you want, what we doing? Pull up with a coupe, no roof, just to do it. She only talk cash, cause she know I speak fluent. The devil in the dress, shorty, I can see through it. She know I'm a rock star, but I know she a diva. She only sent me black hearts, but she always on her knees. Ooh la la, she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, hit it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast. Ooh la la, she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, hit it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast. Yeah, she living in the hills. Shorty drive a Benz with a top off. She got a cold heart, but she know that. Bad little bitch taking pictures all the Kodak. Ooh la la, she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, hit it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast. Ooh la la, she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, hit it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast. Ooh, look how she moving, she do it okay. Baby out west got a crib in LA. She only want bills with the blue on the face. She hit my DM and she begged me to stay. New bag, new whip, she on it. Too bad, too lit, she want it. Baby don't stress, couple mil in the bank. She look even better when she walk away. Ooh la la, she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, hit it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast. Ooh la la, she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, hit it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast.
Everybody's podcast is worth is because of the deal that Joe Rogan he signed. You can look at all of his numbers, everything. It's all public knowledge, and then he scaled it at 100 million. Now, people like Joe Button is going to get a good deal. People like the arm. I was about to say. Look, I was giving the armchair reference.
Yeah,
good. The Barstool people, they're going to up their price for everything. Like, you know, that thing with the girls over there, the issues that they're having. So it's going to be one of those things that we can look at, and we can look at the numbers and we can say, hey man, we know what we're worth now. They didn't know until that.
Right, now there's a scale where any podcast says, okay, Joe Rogan's numbers are this, meaning that if we match these numbers, we're worth the similar amount. Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now there's like a price tag. So you almost have to go. I wonder how they really did market it, though. I mean, like, what all goes into picking out, like, if you're going to be as valuable as Joe Rogan? Like, because I wonder if they're, like, not just thinking about viewership, but also, like, brand deals and all that jazz, like, his connections within, like, his merchandising and all that. I'm kind of curious, like, if that all goes into account when you're making those.
Yeah, it's a licensing. So he's licensing. Like, say our back catalog, if we signed a deal today for whatever it was, we could choose to say, hey, man, we're keeping all this backlog for ourselves, or we could add it into the deal and make our deal go up. So they're using his back catalog, his brand. He built a humongous brand. So they're using that brand in every way, licensing it for years, you know, like 3 years. And then after that, but he still owns it. They don't own nothing. He owns everything. So that's the deal we're looking for. You know that, right?
That's
where we own everything.
That way we make every dollar of everything that we make.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. Yeah, right on.
Create jobs, everything. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's important for us. Absolutely. That's actually, guys, part of our big announcement here. I guess we'll make it at the beginning of the show, is that we will be probably being on Spotify, iTunes, and all that here. Having our podcast available right after the show goes live. So anybody out there who doesn't want to watch the show, you know, you're more of like a listener, you're a busy person. We get it. We understand it. We respect it. But if you want to listen to the show and support us, you can head over to Spotify or wherever you listen to music or podcasts and check us out there. and like have a good time with us. Have a chuckle, have a laugh.
Yeah, share it. Also, share it to your buddies, your friends, everybody. Get hip.
Your
Any
mom,
guests out there that want to come on, just message us.
your grandma, especially your grandma. Your grandma wants to listen to that.
Yeah,
She,
Gramps.
she's tired of Fox News. Fox News. She heard that. Let's listen to Bridging the Gap for once. You know what I mean?
Tell Gramps to go watch Bridging the Gap.
Tell her, yeah. Go get your Grams. Tell her to go watch Bridging the Gap. Absolutely. Justin Grove said, "What's up, gents? What's going on, Justin? Hey, Justin, it's good to see you, my man." So, holy hell, we might as well just get into this. So, we kind of last week we had Josh on while the whole Minneapolis thing was going down. Shout out to Josh. He will actually be coming back on the show at some point. Not sure when yet. But we basically got this whole philosophical thing where we like almost like glanced over this whole thing, and as we've glanced over it, this whole week it is like blown up into like it almost feels like a revolution, because like it feels like people are protesting even in rural areas, and we'll get into that. But I mean, like, wow, so Coach, go ahead. I'll let you kind of take the reins here and explain, because you've probably been paying attention a little bit more to the events of recent, more so than I have, of what's going on.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, let's be real right now, it's a lot of bullshit going on right now. You know what I mean? I've been invited to, I did my part in these protests, but these protests are not turning out to be protests. And if you do all the information, if you're not watching the news, don't watch the news. Watch lives. Watch actual lives of people that you know. Like Ashley, we threw some of Ashley's shit up there.
Right.
I've been watching lives from every city, and the one thing that they had in common is that them Antifa motherfuckers is starting all the fucking problems. That's just facts, and we can't allow that. You know what I mean? Like if I was down, like if something sparked off right now, Dev, and we were downtown, and you had a building, I had a building, I'm protecting your fucking building. Let's protest, but as soon as you go to throw a rock through my building, you know what I mean? That type shit's gonna happen. So it's given a kind of bad name to what's going on, because there's the majority of people are down there to protest. What the protest started for is cops killing unarmed black men. Yeah. You know what I mean? That they already have in custody. They're not being a threat to them. That's what the protest is about. And I say 75% of the people that go to there, that's what they're about. Yeah. They're about going down there and trying to get them to understand that the people are tired of it. The main thing that I see that I love, man, is the diversity. The diversity. You look around the crowd, there's white people, they're enraged. There's black, and they're helping each other. Even though it's a sad fucking thing to see that they have to pour milk in their eyes because they got sprayed, but still, that's what you want to see.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the main thing I get out of it. I think everybody's just tired of that bullshit that's going on with white supremacy fighting each other, and they're using us meaning lower, black, white, that are lower out of that class to fight each other so they can feel happy about, man, fuck that shit, yo. I ain't with that shit, yo. I'm not with that shit at all, man. It makes me, it enrages me when somebody uses somebody else's pain to get some money.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And here's the thing. So Justin said, coolest thing I saw was a protester and a cop hugging. And that goes back to, like, I think that we're actually really seeing people get closer. One of the live streams I seen yesterday of the protests we had locally around here was that, one of the people at the protest was talking with a cop, and the cop's like, we don't have any problems with you guys, like, right, like, doing any of this stuff or anything. And actually the cops were there because, we'll talk about that later, there was a bunch of people with guns, right there, right there to defend the business. That's why they were there, because if something happened, they would prevent it.
It's an open carry state. Yeah, they gotta be on P's.
Yeah. But regardless, I thought it was, I agree totally, because it is awesome seeing how many people of different diverse groups are working together. And I think what's interesting to me is that how many people from everywhere are protesting, because I don't think I've seen this many protests around the country just sparking up everywhere.
One after another, yeah.
Right, like I have with this whole thing. And that actually brings us to a question, because this is like, and anybody out there in the audience, I would love to hear your explanation. But why is this in particular the thing that's kind of sparked everything? Because I said this before we got on the show. This happens all the time. Like, black people are shot, and like, police brutality happens all the time. I mean, it's back. Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee back in 2016, and then even before then, it's been happening, right? And this stuff happens every day, and sometimes people don't even blink an eye. It comes up as a news headline. So and so died. No one pays attention to it. But this particular one blew up out of control. And, I have to ask, like, why did this particular instance, and I want to hear your theory, Coach, and I have my own as well, why did this particular one blow out of control, you think?
Well, I think it was like a boiling point, bro. If you watch that video, it's very disturbing, yo. It's very disturbing. Like, it was in them. All of those 4 people that were in that, wearing those police uniforms, all 4 of them, it seemed like they were in tune with what was happening, meaning they wanted to do what was happening. Dude could have stopped it. Dev, if I did me and you being cool as shit, if I get out of hand, aren't you going to stop me?
Yeah.
Aren't you going to be like, yo, coach, don't do anything stupid. Come on, man, don't do that. You're going to stop me. So, you can't, it's very disturbing watching that video. And I think it was used as a tactic with those aggregators, you know what I mean? They started, throwing it into the mix, and then they started pumping up. And then I think the people that were down there to protest for themselves, that came organically. And then everything else came. The agitators came, and then they got everything to go and make it bigger than that really thing is. But I think it is a boiling point, though. It is a boiling point, bro. If you looked at that video, that is fucking disturbing, and people are not going for that shit no more.
Right.
People in general are not going for that shit.
Yeah, well, my theory is it has a lot to do with we were talking about groups like Antifa being in these areas, and they're kind of like, I think, instigating a lot of the things in there and then making it blow into this crazy out of proportion thing. But you're right about the boiling point too. I think also it helped was the coronavirus thing. Like,
yes,
we are so fixated right now. Like, our attention has been fixated for a while. Like, where it's like we only pay attention to one thing after the next thing, and it's like we fixated on something, and we've been like trapped almost. Like, there's like this energy of like repression that people have been bottled up for 3 or 4 months now, stuck inside of their homes. Like, people are agitated. Like, the public is agitated right now. And they're already, because of this whole bullshit, people are distrustful of one another. They're distrustful of their government. They're distrustful of any situation. The power systems that be, they are already sick of it. They are sick of all of these power systems. And then when this came out, with the help of, the riots and the things that we've seen down there, and just the video itself has fueled people into a frenzy, I believe. But not even in like a frenzy like looting all the stores and everything, but like really saying to themselves, like, I'm done. Like, giving them a cause to fight for. Like, out of this whole corona thing, I feel like we've all kind of been united in a sense, because we've been going through together as a nation, we've been going through this horrible thing. And then now we're like, okay, now we can come together on anything.
Yeah, it's like a heat check. Like I always say, a heat check. When you see shit go wrong, you can tell what people are about. Like, there was friends of mine, white friends of mine, that, hit me in the inbox and said, hey, man, I know shit's messed up. I know how you're feeling. You got, those type of situations. And they're like, I don't know what to do. What should I do? And I'm like, you don't have to do anything. Just keep being yourself. You know what I mean? If you see some fucked up shit, just say something. There's no, you know what I mean? If you got to get in the mix, you got to get in the mix. Like, because if I answered your message, that means that I look at you like what I would do for your peoples. If shit was going down, I would get in the mix with you. So everybody has to think like that. They have to think like that right now, because it's not a black or white thing right now, bro. It's straight politics and money. and that shit is disgusting, and I don't like it. I don't like it. That's why I went to a couple spots. I rode by the one yesterday. I didn't get out because I'm not that person, dude. If you let me out of the car and shit goes down, we're gonna need bail money.
We're gonna need bail. Well, we got some. Listen, bro, we got some great questions because Will said. So I'll read out the. First, I'll read off Sarge's comment because he said these riots are threefold. I think you meant to say threefold, not three gold, but threefold. One, those who were peaceful and cared. Then there's two, the instigators, and then three, the looters looking for an opportunity. Oh no, looters looking for an opportunity, and three, the Antifa bussied in to create more problems. All of this COVID lockup he thinks equals violence. And then Will Hooten says, what do you think of the government and society should do now as of June 1st? Now, I don't know if he's referring to COVID. Also, Sarge said Raiders suck. Eat a bag of dicks, Sarge. Anyway, regardless.
Nation, baby.
But regardless, he's saying, what is this? I don't know if he's talking about this or if he's talking. I mean, what should society and a government do as a whole? I mean, what they should have done is acknowledge the problem and make laws that hold police officers accountable for, things like this where they can't just murder people in the streets and say, oh, what, and then they get leave.
And I think that's the only thing you can do for this specific thing that's happening. Like when the right went up there and marched on there with their guns cocked and loaded, I would think that they wanted, I guess this is a question to Sarge, why is it such an uproar for these type of things when we're going down there peacefully? We're going down there peacefully. And we're the original people that are going down there fighting this shit are going down there peacefully, and then all these entities come in. Why aren't they happening at that side though? That's kind of my question.
Wait, like what's not happening on what side? Like
when the right goes over with the guns and they try to enforce the Second Amendment. Mm-hmm. Why doesn't that shit ever get out of hand then? Is what I'm curious. Can it be just, is it just Antifa? It's not black people, bro. Mm-hmm. It's not black people. They're not going out there destroying people's property. Will they be looters? I'll be a looter. If we go by a Walmart and that motherfucker's open, Deb, the fucking protesters
hold on. Side note. Coach, right now, me and you are walking down the street. They're looting Walmart. What's the first thing we're grabbing out of there, right? Because I'm on board with you.
That can help us go forward.
Yeah, I agree. We're getting the microphones, the headset. We're gonna have like new Beats headphones on. We're gonna have fucking like brand new Blue Yeti microphones and shit. We're gonna have like 3 display monitors, like a brand new computer. Coach, we're gonna like be all set up and ready to go. People are like, man, you guys really upped the production value of your show. I said, yeah, we sure did. Got them stimulus checks.
Be right back on the front line. We'll go stash it and go right back. Trust me, bro, I don't have no ill wills about people going in there and stealing from corporations. Now, the small businesses, though, that's a problem with me. Those are the things that I'll defend. My cousin down there, you can see it from the Erie one. He jumped on one of them Antifa people when they threw a window of a small business downtown in my hometown Erie, and he whooped his ass right on fucking camera. That's what you have to do to those type of people, because that's not what we're here for. We're here for, let's change the policies in the police department. Let's start doing that. We're not gonna fucking make this any other thing than this. So you gotta fucking stand up. Everybody has to stand up for that shit.
Right. Yeah, everybody. Absolutely. And I agree. And now, I'm actually going to play a video. This is from one of the protests that happened locally here. And I just want to play this video for you guys to see. Somebody was posting a video of just them taking a march yesterday. And, the streets down here, this is like where we live is like a very local rural area, are lined with people with guns. And I just want to get you guys' opinion. I'll have Coach talk about what he thinks about people with guns just lining the streets as these people march. Or, his opinion, and then I'll kind of give mine. And then, anybody out there in the audience, you can give yours. Alicia Wallace says, love the title. And Justin says he'd get himself a new pair of Converse sneakers. All right, guys, we're going to go to the screen capture, and I'll get back with you here in a second, okay? We're back now. Okay, so you saw the video there. I just wanted to show that part. Shout out to Emil for the beautiful commentary there. But anyway, oh, well, that's all right. Well, then never mind. Hey, Will. Actually, it's kind of okay. There was no sound on the playback on that because all you need to do is see what was going on there. Yeah, that's fine. But did you guys see the people with the guns like lined up on the street, like standing out in front of houses and whatnot with ARs and everything as they're going by? Justin says, I'm okay with them holding guns. They have a right to protect their property from potential rioters and looters. Yeah, now, Coach, go ahead. Give your opinion on what it is, and I'll give mine.
I think that, yeah, I definitely think that you have a right to protect your property. I don't see nothing wrong with, pulling your guns out and saying, hey, not here, especially after days of seeing these. And then people say, hey, we're having a peaceful protest. And then all of a sudden it turns to people's property being trashed. So I have no problem with people standing with their guns and shit like that. They also should be reaching out though and saying, hey, man, we're just protecting our shit, but we believe in what you guys are doing. We want shit to go this way. Because I would want somebody, like if I was out of town and this shit sparked off and I had a business or my house was being invaded, I would want my country to be like, no, that's not the person who you do that to. To stand up for that. To stand up for that. Everybody should be standing up for bullshit. Like, we're not going to allow that shit to happen. So when they start destroying property, man, I can't get with that. Small businesses, now, I don't give a fuck about them corporates, bro. I'm gonna tell you that 100%. I don't give a fuck. I'm looting with them.
But well, they're just gonna write it off somehow anyway for the damages, and they're still gonna make all their money back, so it doesn't even matter.
You guys just got fucking stimulus and our stimulus checks too. So come on. We're going to get that, but the small businesses, you got to kind of protect those people. You know what I mean? You got to fucking say, hey, no. And that's what I seen. The back scenes of that, seeing that was great. Was the people up in there like, no, you're not going to bust these windows. You're not going to do this and do that. No. Go after the police. Go to the police. You know what I mean? Those type of things, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Well, now here's my take. So I'm going to show another clip here, and because I do not have the sound on for this particular clip, I guess you guys can't hear it. I'm actually going to check over and look at something real quick here, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna play his next clip. But what happens is actually one of the people actually begins to start arguing and bickering with somebody else. And what they're talking about in this particular clip is the one woman who had a gun takes the gun off and says, "Bring it!" Like she wants to fight somebody, right? And no one has walked, not from what I understood, no one has walked on her property or anything, and I didn't get the full story here because we just see the guy who has the live stream go back and say, hey, and the beauty of this is the people with the guns, no one starts shooting. They just say, the guys with the guns come over and they try and separate the whole thing, from the other people, and then, and then the same thing with the protesters. Hey, keep walking, don't get involved, keep it peaceful, let's go, keep it walking, keep it moving. So I'm just going to play just a little snippet of that, and then we'll move forward. Yeah, very important. So that clip I just showed, so there was the girl there who has, okay, so Justin says, disagree, coach. A crime is a crime. No one is above the law. I don't care if they are a corporation or not. Sorry, that's what he's saying about your thing. But anyway, we'll get that. I just want to say my point, and then we'll get back to those points you guys are making. I want to say that I think when you're out on the street with guns, I have no problem with you doing it to say you're protecting your property or anything like that, especially with the events that have happened over the past couple of days. I have no problem with that. Now, where maybe my bias comes in a little bit is I feel like it's almost a little intimidating when you have lines of people with weapons just standing there, because it's not like the guy sitting on his porch, right, with a gun. He's just defending his house. They had a corridor of people with weapons standing there, almost as if it was about to be a war zone of some sort, and again, I respect anybody's right to bear arms. I'm not anti-gun, you won't hear that from me, but I'm just saying the presentation I saw.
Antifa.
I'm Antifa. I even got the. Where's my? Hold on, bro. Look.
Dems Antifa.
Look, bro. I've been trying to hide this. All right, I'm coming clean, guys. I'm coming clean. Here I am. I'm Antifa. I'm here. Get used to it. No, but seriously, with all due seriousness, I just think it was like maybe too much. I agree with people defending their homes and whatnot, and I'm glad because the people with guns were just demonstrating their right because most of them, as you saw, most of them were like when that thing happened, were just calmly guiding everybody along. But then you saw there was one woman there who literally had the gun and starts fighting with people, and she takes off her stuff like she wants to fight somebody. What is that doing? What is that doing? If you're someone with a gun, I don't think you should be an instigator. Like, why are you going to instigate? I get, granted, the people during the protest that are in this are instigating because they see all these people with guns, and then they see all these cops show up, and they're like talking trash, but they're protesting. It's their freedom of speech. They're allowed to talk and say whatever they want out in the street. Now we always joke around, you're liable to get your ass beat, but no one should ever get shot for what they're saying. So
yeah, you mess around and say the wrong thing, you can get your ass beat by a protester or a cop. It could go either way, or an agitator. And you're absolutely right. I don't see anything wrong with that because the organization. Think about it, Death. If you're fucking sitting on your porch, or you hear the night before, and you see all the things that have been happening from the so-called peaceful protests throughout the nation, and they say, "Hey, tomorrow we're having one." Mm-hmm. So you would organize to defend your neighborhood. So I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see that antagonizing. Only part I see antagonizing, there is going to be, just like there's going to be bad protesters that are going to start some shit, there's going to be bad people with those guns that are going to start some shit. Yeah. So things are, you know what I mean? It's a numbers thing. It's a way, it is what it is. But I don't see nothing wrong with that because I want to know that I can stand outside in front of my house cocked and loaded with how many ever people I want to know to defend some shit.
Right. Well,
that's America.
I did want to say to you too. You need to turn on that light again because you're starting to get too dark because the sun's going down. So.
Oh, okay.
You're going to turn that light so people can see you. So go do that quick, and I'll handle this chat here. So. Corporate employs thousands, and you're wrong for looting them as well. The employees pay for it, not the big guy. You hurt the cops. You also hurt the little guys. That's kind of, or you hurt the corpse. That's kind of ignorant thinking. Sarge says that's hood mentality, coach. You need to get rid of that thinking. I think he's talking about looting.
What is hood mentality?
Stealing from corporations. Like if there was looting going on and someone broke.
Fuck them corporations. The only time I want to hear from a corporation when I go get donations for my 501c3. And that they make it hard for me to do that pulling teeth. I got to pull teeth to do that shit. They don't give a fuck about what's going on between me and you, Sarge. Unless I know something like.
Well, the point he did make in the one comment was that it doesn't hurt them; it hurts the little guy when someone loots a store because they employ thousands of people and then they lose jobs.
Bro, if you look at the system of what a corporation is, they're hurting the system. They are the biggest welfare fucking recipients, like a Walmart. They don't hire full time. They don't give insurance. They absolutely hire under and say to their workers, you can go get welfare medical care. Come on, man. Stop that shit, man. If they're part of the if you agree that corporations are not like they're not privy to fucking getting smacked in the face when this shit goes down, you're part of the problem. That's just facts to me. I don't care. Mom and pops, you're off the table. Corporations, fuck y'all, because they the one funding all this bullshit.
Right, and he's saying that corporations employ thousands of people, but I mean, if one for instance, like I'm not saying you do it everywhere, but like say one Walmart goes down, right? I mean, is that thousands of people that lost their job, or is that like maybe 100 people lost their job? Because I worked at a big store like a Lowe's, for instance, and it employed, I believe, just under 100 people, I believe, at any given time. So, I mean, are we trying to say like, oh, someone does that now and like we have to respect it because thousands of people are globally employed, even though it was just one location? I mean, I am curious. And granted, I don't think me and Coach are advocating. Hold on. Yeah, I would say I don't think Coach and I are advocating that me and him are going to open up the door and
We're
burn
not
down.
doing that.
We're not throwing the. We were saying that if someone had already thrown the and the place has already been like it's been hit, like people have been in out of there grabbing stuff.
I'm in. I'm in.
You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
give a
Like
fuck.
yeah,
I
like
don't give a fuck what y'all talking about, man. Fuck
yeah,
that shit. It
yeah.
is what it is. But as far as like the bottom line to all that is like I think it was Ashley who posted that. Remember when we seen that and Ashley said such a great economy when they closed it down with Kova 1 week without paychecks.
Everybody was in trouble.
So how good is that fucking
Economy.
system going?
Yeah, how good is that
At some
economy?
point, at some point, all these greedy fucks that getting that money, I'm with that. I'm with that.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah, but Justin says now he's going back to his original point. A crime is a crime and no one is above the law. Listen, we didn't say
You catch me?
Yeah, I said we didn't say that we did not say that you could not arrest us. We did not say that we were not guilty of a crime. We simply stated that we would, and if you caught us, I guess you catch us, you know? Like, that's all I'm saying.
Happily, I won't plead guilty. I'll stretch it out for the whole time and try to get the best deal possible. Hey, man, it is what it is. That type stuff I don't worry about because those are the people, if you look at it, this is what people are saying. You're defending that they keep getting bailed out for their problems. But us common Americans, when we're in a jam, it's hard for us to get a loan. They're garnishing your checks for a fucking student loan. Come on, man. What are we talking about here?
Gary called us fucking clowns. Gary said we're fucking clowns.
We're fucking clowns. Okay. Do I gotta pull up? Do I gotta shoot?
No. We don't need it. No. That's fine. I'll okay because apparently the looting thing has really got us, and that's actually a good question to actually bring up. You know, because a lot of people said, well, how should we have handled this? How should people in the community have handled this? Right? And then
the only way, the best way that what Josh said that we had on the other day, it's going to another level now. There's no more peaceful shit, bro. If you don't understand that and you're not down with it, get the fuck out of the way. It's that simple. Call that clown. If you ain't with that shit, get the fuck out of the way.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is that my perspective is that, you know, is it the best way to handle things? No. But here's what I do understand. What I do understand is that protesting and marching and all this does not work. And you have a community of people because a very good quote I heard is a riot is the voice of the unheard. Because
MLK.
Yeah.
And y'all motherfuckers that keep saying that shit, you people over the Second Amendment people told MLK's kid when he repeated that how he was supposed to, how his father was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Get the fuck out of here, man. Nobody's trying to hear that. If you're making excuses for the shit that's going on to black people in this country, you're the problem. And if you're in the way, you're going to get those problems. Right. It's that simple. I don't agree with none of the fucking looting and all that shit. But these corporation motherfuckers, I do.
Yeah. Well, all I'm saying, because again,
what do y'all stand for? What do y'all stand for? I seen Sarge fucking freak the fuck out. He couldn't go to the park. Oh my God, he made an hour rant about that shit. You ain't making an hour rant about how they killed that man, and you're supposed to be that type of person. Don't talk to me about that shit. That shit you don't have no fucking. That's not trolling. That's not nothing you can talk about if you ain't about that shit. Get the fuck out of the way. All and right. I know that shit, yo. Don't troll me about living in the black community. You know absolutely nothing about it. I don't give a fuck if your friend's black. I don't give a fuck what you've seen in Harrisburg. I don't care. You did not have to live that shit all your life.
Right. Now, back to what I was saying was, like, there's... and also, I applaud you for that response, Coach. I do, because that's an awesome response. But what I was saying is, like, it's not the best way, but this whole thing is MLK said, like, that quote I just said, right? And that reason why is because how are people supposed to protest? How are they allowed to? Because when Colin Kaepernick takes a knee, you said that's not right. When they're out in the street and they're protesting walking down the street, that's not right. Whenever a black community complains, when they complain that something is not right, for some reason, it's never like basically what everyone seems to be advocating for is they need to shut the fuck up and their problems are their problems, and that's really just silly.
When you're saying stuff like that, oh, you're not supposed to do it like that. Get the fuck out of here, man. People are fed up with that shit, man. They're fed up with that shit. You're telling us to stay on our place, and it's not gonna happen. It's not.
Right.
So now, deal with that. Deal with that.
Right. So Will says, what should the government do to prevent police brutality? And that's a great question because, like I said, I think that the only way you can is just add in laws and this is the only thing that comes to mind, is that you have to get rid of those stand your ground laws, and you have to start, you know what I'm talking about, right? The laws where they basically can just find they can create an excuse to shoot a black person just by making him reach in his pocket.
I think it has to just be a better vetting process to hiring people and firing them. Let's be clear about that. Most people that are doing these type of things have a history of these type of things. It just didn't get to this point, or it happened to fall on a day where everybody overboiled and was like, fuck it, let's go. So that became an example. So the past things, like the history, you cannot be cops cannot be working a 40-hour week. And plus, it's a stressful job. They're going to fucking freak out at some particular point. You're putting too much on it. It should be shorted weeks, more money, more benefits, because they're first responders. I totally agree. I have an uncle that's a cop. I have a cousin that's a vet. I totally agree with them. I love them to death because they're first responders. But the motherfuckers that stressed out, they're having a bad day, and then they come to a neighborhood that they don't understand, they know nothing about, and then they get tough. And they start taking it out on those people.
Right.
And then what do you expect people to do in that situation?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
They're not going to be able to talk it out. And that's another thing too that Shay brought up in the chat here as well. She said that we could change laws, and then also psych exams before hiring, and also longer duration times for like becoming a cop is actually a not fairly easy process, but it doesn't take nearly as much time as it would in other countries. In Denmark, I believe it's 2 to 3 years, and here I believe it's 18 months or something like that, short of a couple months. I'm not exactly sure. I would have to actually really look into that, but I believe it's a lot shorter amount of time than in other places. Sarge says, I lived in the hoods of the Berg, jackass. I moved out and stayed out, and I left the ghetto bullshit there, unlike you. So say with what you will. But
I'm not even, he's just a troll. He doesn't know how to handle his emotion. He's going to defend everything to the fucking fullest of that. So I'm not even getting that. But let's talk about how the police were created. Mm-hmm. The police were created out in Britain. I forget his name. They call him Bobbies. His name was Robert something, in 1812. It didn't catch on until 1829. It didn't come to America. And when it came to America, they didn't use the same fucking philosophy. They used it to catch slaves. And then when slavery was over, jail systems came in. We can go on and on and on and on how the police were put here in America. They were put here specifically to keep control of black people. That's just facts. If you don't understand that, and you don't understand why people are bucking, I don't know what to tell you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Stay out of there.
Yeah. Now,
stay out of that lane.
Will says, should police be required to wear cameras and have all their footage uploaded? Because this all started when America. Oh, I've lost it now because Robert said something. Crud. I can't read the rest of it now. But
don't even answer his shows no more, bro.
Right. Well, no, I'm saying Will had a question, and I think we'll just start with the cameras. He said this all started, and I couldn't read the rest of the statement because it passed. But regardless, I could probably go back and look through the chat. But anyway, he said about wearing cameras, should all cops wear cameras? And, I kind of, agree. Sure, every cop should wear a camera, I guess.
They shouldn't be able to control where the content goes, though.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't make, think about it, Dev, you're a content creator. Mm-hmm. If you hold the content, you can create the narrative.
Because you can edit anything. I can make anything look like it was something totally different. Go on YouTube and look up SpongeBob edited. You can make an episode of SpongeBob one giant sex joke. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so anyway, here I want to re-upload. He said, because this all started when America saw this. If America didn't see this video, what would have happened? Oh, that's a very good point.
What's going on?
And I think what's good, too, is now, like, phones have live capabilities, so you can go live at any point and record something, and it's the real, raw, what is happening right now.
Yeah, we ain't watching CNN and Fox News and just one site. I'm watching multiple lives about what's going on in here, and I experience it myself for my life. This bullshit that people are saying that this Black Lives Matter thing is the problem with everything, no. It's white people, white supremacy fighting over who has control. That's what's going on. Right, left. And they're doing tactics for everything to take advantage of everything. If people don't see that, I'm sorry. That's not a conspiracy. That's facts. That's what people are out here on, and they're not trying to hear no more peaceful shit. My fucking family, me, I'm telling my kids to do the right best thing, but hey, man, if you gotta, whatever you feel like fucking doing, you handle that shit. You gotta do what you gotta do. If you feel you're in a fucking situation and you're protecting yourself and your rights and the others, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't tell me that's wrong. You can't tell me that's wrong.
Yeah, Shay said this, if there was no footage, the killing would continue and it would be a totally different narrative. I mean, it still does, though. I mean, like me and Coach were saying at the beginning of the show, like a friend of ours posts in this one group where he's shown many a time where there's been shootings like this, like shootings, like, you know, kids, like, you know, teenagers gunned down the streets, you know, black people killed unwrongfully in strangleholds and all kinds of things. Just, it happens. Like, it happens all the time, and we were even talking about why this one in particular kind of blew out of proportion. So, you know, again, like, the narrative stays the same unless, like, either we as people, which I'm glad, like, it seems like a lot more people are involved with this now, make a difference and try to make a change, whether as a collective, not just the people of Minneapolis, not just the people in Pittsburgh and Erie, but like literally people
not just black people.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just black people.
People like me, people like every white guy or white person going out there and doing it.
You guys should be upset too. You should be upset that they'll bring up this argument. Oh, white people get killed too. There's more white people. Yeah, per capita there is, but not percentage-wise per capita. Like what percentage we make of this country, we're getting fucked up. If you don't have a problem with that and you're not standing up saying, hey, police brutality to white on white crimes, don't tell people what they should be doing. Just get out of the way. Just go over there and sit there and shut the fuck up and talk to them. That's just how simple it is. If you're not in this for this fight right now, I'm very passionate about this. I will die about this right now. When it comes to your rights, Dev, anybody's rights, if I see that I've been like that since a kid. I bully bullies. If you're doing something messed up to the person that can't defend himself at that time, I'm in. I don't care what it takes. I don't care that Target got its windows broken and looted. I don't give a fuck. And I don't give a fuck about some small businesses getting it too. Because honestly, if it was my business and I knew that shit was coming, I would have been prepared. They would have known me in the community. They probably would skip by me, and then to catch them Antifa motherfuckers, they would beat them motherfuckers up. And I would be down there locked and loaded with all my people locked and loaded, handing out water and milk.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You don't talk from the sidelines.
Yeah.
That shit's getting frustrating.
Yeah, well, you know, that's actually a great thing, too, that Will brought up. He said it's not just white supremacists. It's also silent people sitting back and not doing anything. Not saying anything. And I feel like I've been guilty because this whole time this whole thing's been going on, I haven't really said anything. And the reason why is because... What's that?
No, I'm just fucking
I'm just saying the reason why is because, like, I don't want to feed into, like, these people see... Like, everybody's very like, I feel like I'd be speaking to a wall. Like, there's people, all I'm going to do is if I post something, all I'm going to get is people who want to hear, who are going to support my opinion, and there's going to be people who aren't going to support my opinion, and I'm not changing anybody's mind. So my game plan is just that I've decided, like, I'm going to try and go out to some of these events. I'm going to work in my community more, like, with my people. all of my people, my local businesses, everybody around me to try and make a better community right here, because I can't change what's going on in Minneapolis. I can't change what's happening in Pittsburgh. I can't do all of that because I'm not there. But I can work with the people right here in my community to make sure shit like what happened in Minneapolis doesn't happen here, right?
Well said. Well said, Dev.
And
that's all you have to do. You don't have to make no grand, but you can't knock. You just walk away from some things you don't agree with when people are angry. There's probably a couple things that I'd probably take back of the rant that I just said because I'm out of passion. And I would just walk away from somebody that, like, if it's not my struggle, and I walk away for a minute and then come back in and say, hey, man, let's try to do it. You just can't keep poking at people. It's not a troll. It's not a troll what's going on right now.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not.
Right, and Shay made a good point too. She said, make sure it's meaningful before you speak. Like that's kind of the point I'm trying to make is, like, don't just start saying things, because I know there's a lot of passion and energy right now. Like, everybody has, like, I have feelings about everything that's going on too. But don't just start, like, blowing things out into the ether because of that. And then what happens is, you get, like, I'm talking about all the people on Facebook and whatnot, like, it just gets heated to the point where, like, for one, you just say you're going to create your own echo chamber, so you're not willing to listen to other people and their ideas. And two, like, don't just sit, because you might say something stupid and you don't have all the information, or you're just going to be arrogant, and it's not going to help anything. You're just going to, like I said, further segregate you from the other people around you.
And you can't get an invite to the cookout.
Right.
We could disagree with you, but if every time you can judge this by just your friends list, you know what I mean? You know me, Dev. I'm pretty in between, and I try to peace before war. Mm-hmm. But if every time something goes against what you're saying, but it hurts the other side, you have to comment, mm-hmm. That's weak.
Yeah.
That's weak. That's weak.
Right.
You shouldn't do that.
Like, when people are saying that they're against their, like, for instance, like, the him dying was a horrible thing, but they shouldn't have handled it this way,
There's no but. There's no but.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm just saying to them, not you, Dev.
Right,
to them.
Oh no, I'm obviously, yeah, I'm advocating for. I'm just, like, playing devil's advocate. And you're right. And also, Will says, "Amen, there, Dev. Thanks, man. Appreciate it." But yeah, again, like, they're saying these things. They're saying, like, this is how it should have been handled, how it should have been done, and blah blah blah. And yeah, and if ifs and whats or candies and nuts, then every day be fucking Christmas. You know what I mean? But this is how it was handled. Now we can say in hindsight, was it the best possible way? Maybe, maybe not, whatever. But at the same time, you know how it could have been handled? We as American people and our government and the system that exists could have preemptively kept this all from happening had there been laws in place that would have got this man arrested for whatever happened, that there were things that would have, like, they would have taken better care of the black community, all these different things, not like taking care of them, but, like, helping them at ease.
You don't have to take care of them. We don't need police. If somebody calls you, I don't personally call police. The black community tries not to call police. They're usually called on. You know what I mean? We try to handle things ourselves, which I think most of society tries to do, but they're focused on getting their quotas with their tickets and jumping out on people and catching drug dealers and all that in our community. That is fact. That is fact. There's police officers that are getting fired for coming out and saying, I'm not going to be a part of this tyranny. Mm-hmm. Don't you support shit like that? I love that shit.
Right.
If I had the multi-billion, I'm hiring that cop that got fired for coming out and saying that shit.
Right. He's going to be a part of my private security, my cop. He's going to be whatever. And Justin asks, do you mean the peaceful protesters or the looters? Look, I'm saying even though the looters, I agree. The looters did a not good thing. They're looting places, right? Like, we're not just talking about the corporate stores. I'm talking about the small businesses too, where they're breaking shit and hurting the local business, hurting the community. Yeah, not good, not a good thing, right? But I'm saying that you could have prevented all of that and how it was handled had you preemptively simply looked at the encompassing problem of why, because that's the thing that gets lost in all of this for some reason. Everybody wants to bitch and complain about the how, but forgets to ask why it even happened in the first place. And it was because, again, there was a cop who basically killed a man in cold blood right there on the street that did not need to die. And nobody, and he was.
Well, that's the boiling point. You gotta understand that, though, Dev. Mm-hmm. People are putting it on just George Floyd's death.
But
It's not that.
It's
That
not
was
George
just a
Floyd.
boiling point. And there was other additives to it. Nobody is going down there. People like me will not go down the protest to look to loot. I joke and I have fun. If I find a target open, that's real. That's fact. But I'm not going down there to hurt nobody, and I'm going down there to defend people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And stand up for shit. If it gets real, we're in it. That's the majority of the people that are doing this in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
The black, and if they see opportunities, you damn right they're gonna go into a fucking store and loot.
Right.
Why? Why? Why not? I don't see what your point is. If you don't have to do that, that's fine. Good luck for you. But when you live in this community and you see the things that they see, we're gonna attack corporate America. It's just facts. But the people that are starting all this bullshit, Dev, all the bullshit is not the peaceful protesters. It's just a small percentage of them right, left motherfuckers fighting with each other, and they're using these situations as pawns.
Right. Yeah, and they kind of like they're almost like lost in the crowd. They're like a guerrilla kind of op thing. Like everybody wants to blame, like, because they get lumped in with the protesters, even though everybody at these protests are individuals. And we shared videos even on our page on Bridging the Gap where you can go look from Reddit posts and whatnot, where you'll see like people are protesting and then there's just a random person starts breaking stuff, and then the protesters like, why did you do that? Why did you? Because it hurts it. I mean, the video I just showed earlier, granted, you guys didn't get to hear the audio, but whenever they started fighting, the protesters came as well as the people with the guns saying, hey, let's keep this peaceful. Let's keep this peaceful. Move on. Now let's keep going. Like,
yeah, they're not showing that.
Nobody wants conflict, like physical conflict. Nobody wants that. But I feel like what it is sometimes.
Well, there is some people. Let's not say that. The people like us don't want it. There is people coming down there specifically for that, and you have to defend that. You have to defend that. Like when I'm out, the situations that I was at, I didn't get too much into this one, but I did more of the paperwork and money wise and helping some people, you know, doing what they needed to do. But if I'm down there, I'm protecting shit. I'm not looking to destroy shit, and that's the majority of people that are down there.
Right.
Everybody else is those fucking weirdos that are trying to, you know, struggle with each other, and they're using this situation as a pawn, and that's disrespectful, Dev. Mm-hmm. It's very disrespectful. And if anybody makes an excuse for that, you're fucking being disrespectful to me. Mm-hmm. That's how I see it.
Right. Well, I mean, and also too, like we said, there's anarchist people that really they're like saying the entirety of the system, and that's why like that's like the looting and things start, because those people they want the system all gone. Like they really want like basically like anarchy. That's what they want. That's the rules they want. And Courtney Clark,
they want to go to war with these guys, but they don't have the numbers and they're scared, so they use other
right, and they hide in that cover. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now
they don't want to go ahead.
Courtney says, when the video first dropped, all America was behind the issue, and we all wanted justice, and it was not right. You had everyone's support, and it was not right. And wanted justice, and it was not right. Okay. You had everyone's support, and then you started rioting and burning down buildings.
Who was not?
Yeah, that's what.
Is looking at the black. This is the point you have to make, though. I get what he's saying. I'm sorry I cut it off. But it's not who are you saying messed it up. It's not the black community. It's these anarchists and the right wings fighting with each other, using tactics, playing tactical war over situations. Don't blame it on the black community, because if you do your research, you'll see all the people who's starting this shit. If you look at all the videos and the lives, then I thought about doing that the other day. It was like making a Facebook page and just throwing everybody's lives there. And then we go in and chop up all the things. It shows what's really happening. Yeah. There's people out there that are peacefully protesting, are right in this country, and people are coming in antagonizing it. Yeah. And then more people are coming in looting and doing that shit. Right. So let's not go there.
Yeah, well, he said, Courtney then followed that up. Well, hold on. Mike Lowther said, last night in Minneapolis, protesters stopped a guy from breaking into a gas station, then got him out there because a few people were about to kick his ass. And you're right. Like, protesters literally got the guy, ripped him out of the gas station, and then said, get out of here before we kick your ass. They gave him mercy. They gave him mercy. They're like, get out of here before we kick your ass. And Court says, there's some bad eggs. And you're right. But the thing is, The problem is some people like to say there's some bad eggs, but they kind of like to think that there's more bad eggs than there really are, because I really don't believe there's as many bad eggs as people say, you know?
Just like it is in the police force. There's bad cops, right? Isn't that what they tell us? All cops ain't bad. No, they're not. But if you keep your mouth shut, and that's what I'm saying, that's what I defend. I'm not going to go out here and point out people that are doing things wrong. No, but in the heat of something, if something's going down, I'm going to defend it. I'm not calling no fucking police.
Right.
Ain't that what America is about? I don't care about if they happen to come, I'll treat them with respect. But if they turn it into something else, that's just how it goes, man.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. They don't understand it's different for people of color. It's different.
Yeah.
It's
And court says, I know there are help wanted ads for hiring people to riot. Are they for people to riot or for them to protest? Like, I can see people putting out things like, hey, come to the protest. I mean, you might be right about the riots. I don't know. Because I'm sure like Antifa and whoever it is, they have like actual websites where like they say, like even Jeff, like there's been like, you know, Jeff Bezos, not Jeff Bezos. Is it Bezos? And I'm thinking of someone else. Soros.
Oh, Soros.
George Soros. He has like, he amps up these things. Like he'll actually pay people to join these protests and stuff, and like they're just like saying that they're not allowed to talk about it. Courtney said, hell, in Dallas there was a pallet of bricks left outside of the courthouse. Yeah, you talked about this.
Great point. There's so much video, the lives that I watch the hood motherfuckers, you know, people that I know, like Ashley, like I know who's really in it. I have people in New York and all that, and I watch their lives, bro, and I see what's really going on. It's fucking hilarious. If you ever gotta watch a fucking riot go down, listen to a gay black dude fucking commentating it, because you'll fucking die. We'll get into that later. But yes, they are leaving like pallets of bricks. People are just going through, grabbing trash and throwing it in the streets and then leaving. How is that a protest?
Yeah,
They're making it bigger than it really is, and they're instigating some things, and those things need to stop. People that are against things happening in this country, and you stand with your Second Amendment and your rights and all that bullshit.
And you know what? It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense if you really think about it. Most people that go to protest are forward-thinking people. Their thoughts aren't, let's trash this fucking place. Do you know what I mean? It's people, it almost has to be people who are actually doing all of these things, like either they're paid or they're told to trash a place, to make it, like, make a scene, make this a big thing, make this a big deal, right? Like, I really do think there has to be people, like, behind the scenes. I'm not saying it definitively, but I mean, we have pretty much some good evidence from videos that we've seen that is what's happening. Shay just dropped us a big comment. She said, what do y'all think about this? Just announced as we speak, I am dispatching thousands and thousands of heavily armed soldiers, military personnel, and law enforcement officers to stop the rioting, looting, vandalism, assaults, and unwanted destruction of property. He said, we will end it now. That was Donald Trump, I'm guessing. That's who she's quoting, I'm assuming.
Who's Shay? You talking about Emil's mom?
No, Shay Wallace, of what's coming on the podcast.
Shay. Oh, yeah. Okay, what's up, Shay? I thought you were somebody else. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, it is. I think it just has the whole system from the top down at federal, you know, all the threats that man makes, saying, I'm going to change social media. I'm going to change this. Why has no president say, you know what? We're going to change the policies in the police department.
Right, exactly. Like, why doesn't that come up? Because, again, that would have preemptively solved all of these problems, I feel like. But they don't want to do that. They don't, because like we always talk about with the justice system. For some reason with the justice system, it doesn't want to attack the roots of the problems. It just wants to like treat the symptoms of them and then say, oh yeah, yes.
Give a Band-Aid.
Right, and then even act like it did anything, because, you know, like it locks these people up, then it lets them back out and they do the same exact stuff. It's like, you know, it's perpetual. It doesn't make any sense. It literally doesn't do anything.
Yeah, there's like the system, like, you know, it's a targeted thing. If you really look at it, it's like, where are we going to go get our quota? Because they have to get quotas. Right. You've seen, I think I shared that video with you. They have to get quota. Where's the best place to do that? you're targeting that area looking for people, and it happens to be people of color, and that shit has to stop.
Right. Well, I was gonna say too, if they really make quotas, they could just do speeding tickets, because I'm sure if they just sat on a highway for like all
They
day,
catch you.
they could just, they not just me, they could get everybody. They could literally get everyone, because I will drive down the highway and look, be like, you're speeding, you're speeding, you're speeding. Like there's people speeding everywhere. Like if there was
That's
like a
how
money
that
thing.
county gets it, though.
That's what I'm saying. They could just do that. Like they don't even have to do the drug targeting or like
You
shaking
can't
down
do
black
that in
people.
the inner city. There's no highways.
Yeah. See, so I guess you're right. They have to make it something. They can't just do it
Yeah,
from the
they
highways.
gotta come up with something else.
Yeah. Right.
Stop and frisk and all that bullshit.
So we wanted to go into jokes for like the last 10 minutes here, I guess. And Shay did say that it was ABC's just released that, but what we were asking, who said it? Was it ABC saying like Donald Trump said that out of his mouth? Like who said that specifically? Because that's what I think we're wondering who said it. That's the PA police, state police's job, Mike said. To arrest people and all that, right? Well, I'm just saying, if to be quotas, you could do that though. You could just sit on the highway and get speeding tickets, because literally, like, everybody speeds. Like everybody, you could get everyone.
Yeah, that's totally different. Highway, where you're from, Dev. This is a bridge and gap moment. The way you see police is totally different from the way that I was raised seeing police. It's
Right.
totally different. It's different, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's why we do this show, to inform people of this. But you know what's fucking funny, bro? Let's go to the jokes now. We got on serious shit out. But the funny shit that I seen, bro, yesterday, there was this kid up in I can't find his live no more, up in Rochester. You know how we said, yo, NFL games should be, we should be able to say cuss and do all that shit. You know how what was that video? Jeff Goldblum, where they said Jeff Goldblum was fucking, and that dude was narrating over it, how he was like he was announcing it.
Yeah.
This dude was doing it through the fucking riot. Like people were breaking into things, and he'd be like, "Yeah, she just got over the fence with a fucking." he was doing that the whole time for like an hour.
Wait, on a live stream, like he was just like
on
live
a live stream.
He was like holding his phone, like just saying stuff as he'd walk by, like doing like a voiceover, like talking like, as if he was those people.
Through the window. He was making it seem like they was scoring touchdowns, that type of shit. Hilarious. It was so hilarious. I was stuck there for an hour and a half watching his live, and I thought it was a white dude. When he turned the phone around, he laughed.
Oh my goodness.
It was hilarious, bro. What did you see that was funny?
Yeah, out of the whole thing, well, nothing. I think the funniest thing was just we were talking about the whole looting thing, because that just cracks me up. Just the thought of like I don't know, man. Like I'm just saying, like if the place is already open, maybe you stop in, you do a little stop and shop, like hey, like nothing wrong with it, you know what I mean? Like I mean, everybody wants to be mad at everything. Fine, right? They catch me. If they got me, they got me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? But guess what? At the end of the day, I got a new laptop and you don't. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we definitely, we're not looking for anything but a fucking
Right. I'm not an anarchist. I'm not a riotist. I'm just an opportunist. It's a different thing. Totally different, yes. Right? Totally, absolutely different. Now that I don't know if Sarge and them are still here or not, but the joke, you see the joke we're making here is that, like, we clearly know that, like, yeah, it's probably not the right thing to do, but we're still saying we do it anyway. That's the fucking joke. But clearly that wasn't seen. Apparently that wasn't picked up on.
No,
so.
Everybody gets in their fucking feelings and in their panties, and then when you call them on it, they run away and fucking go in their corner and make a post.
Right.
You know what I mean? Instead of having real conversations. That's why we're going to continue doing what we're doing, Deb. It's very important what we're doing right now, for people to understand this shit. You know what I mean? And plus, like the venting process, vice versa. Like, there's going to be days that you're going to have this process. It's just sad seeing this shit.
Oh, bro. Shit, bro. Justin said I got a $200 ticket, and the dude before me got a $50 one for taking someone's mailbox and a tree out with their car. And then he asked, are we able to steal strippers? He's asking for a friend.
He said, are we able to steal?
Are you able to steal strippers? He's asking for a friend. Well, no, they're not property, so you can't steal strippers. You can rent strippers. You can rent them. You can't steal them. Yeah, book them. You can book strippers, but I don't think you can steal strippers. Like, I just don't think that's it.
In your mind, Justin.
Right. If I was 20 years younger, I'd take advantage if it came across. Shit, I'm poor. I could use a laptop or two. That's right, Justin. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Everybody got to be honest. If fucking Walmart was being looted and you were going by, you are not going out there like, no, you're going to rob that one.
Hold on. Imagine, it's like been a long fucking day, right? You've been at work all day and you're on your way home and you're like, fuck, I got to stop and pick up this thing. And then when you get to Walmart, where you're going, and that's the only place you know they have exactly what you need, right? It's like you need a fucking hamper or something, I don't know. And when you get there, the fucking place is on fire. The doors are like jammed open. There's people breaking open machines and getting money out and stuff. Now here's my question: are you gonna go drive to the Walmart in the other county, or are you gonna say, you know what? I'll just fucking grab what I need and get the fuck out? Like, are we really saying you're driving the other county? Because I'm not doing it. I'm getting what I'm getting, and I'm still walking out of there. Whether there's a cashier there who's gonna let me pay for it or not. If she's gone, I'm leaving with it. I'm leaving with it. I get an IOU. I'll leave an IOU. I'll say, here it is. I got this. And if they don't find it, they don't pay for it, it's done. Like, I'm just saying, I'm not driving from Altoona, where I live now, 15 miles down the road to go get something else. If I'm here, I'm getting it, right? Whether I'm paying for it or not, I had an idea to get this thing. I'm getting it. Justin said, I have 2 kids. I gotta lead by example, man. Hey, Justin, we totally understand. We try to lead by example here too. And unless, and I don't think it's gonna happen, but unless the Walmart around here gets destroyed and looted, and I really need a new clothes hamper, and it's the only place I can get one.
Why are you stuck in the hamper, bro?
Because I'm saying that because I had to buy a clothes hamper the other day, and the only place that I knew I would get one for sure was Walmart, because I've been trying to buy local, and I was like, fuck, I gotta go to Walmart. Those sons of bitches, they're the only people I know for sure are gonna have a hamper, because I wasn't trying to run around and go everywhere. So,
nah, bro, guys, we can joke about shit, but overall, like, I think eye to eye, me and you understand, if we were in a crisis, we would do the right things. You know what I mean? We defend.
Flies,
what
bro.
The fuck are you beating up?
There's flies, bro. There's flies like a weird, like these weird, like weird flies, bro. They're like black. They just flew in my room. Like, they're coming for me. Like, I think they're those they're the FBI drones, man. They're coming for us.
But overall, we're always gonna do the right thing. We're stand-up guys. If they don't understand that, fuck them.
Oh,
what do you heard a comment? Go ahead.
Yeah. I think this is like the one we'll have to wrap up the show on. Justin says, now, if a strip club was burning down, he said, you'd find it with strippers over my shoulders. He's like a blonde and a redhead. Oh my God. We are, I have to be, we're going to be in a boat of, what are they going to call it? Chauvinist. We're going to be like chauvinists or something because of it. They're going to hate on us. Is the murder hornet Dev?
Ladies love us.
Will Hooten said, is the murder hornets dead? No, they are still here. I killed one of them, but there's one over here. I'm looking at him, and he's like in a corner where I can't hit him with the shoe. So I guess I'll just have to wait until he flies around. Alrighty, guys, but we are definitely getting out of here. Coach, do you have anything else you have to say?
Yes, before we go, let me know, how was your birthday?
Oh, right. Everybody didn't get to hear about my birthday. Well, it was actually not the best because I was trying to stay up for 24 hours to get back on my sleep schedule because, I was trying to do that. But I got like 3 hours of sleep, but I did get wings. One thing that sucks about the whole quarantine and your birthdays during it, you don't really get to go out and do anything because there is nothing to do. So I just had some friends over. We had a fire, talked some shit, had a good time, whatever. That's pretty much it. But, as I hear, as you get older, your birthday really doesn't get all that special.
Did you have a threesome?
Huh? No.
What?
No, I didn't.
If you ain't married, that's like what you got to do every
birthday. Like, that's it. You just like call up the same people. All right. Well, that being said, guys, we're out of here. Again, remember that we will be making this a podcast as well. So be checking us out within the week. Be on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts, you'll be able to listen to us. If you guys would, please go like, follow, share our page. We appreciate it so much. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Same name, Bridging the Gap. And stay beautiful. Take care of yourselves. And I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.